going to work or you came from work?
I just came from work.
Oh, look at you.
Love to hear. All right, hold on right quick. Welcome everyone. We're just waiting for everybody to get in the room.
Paulina.
Hey.
This is your first one? I think you've been here. Rita's in the house.
Gang, gang. What's up, y'all?
What's up?
Hey. What's up, guys? We're just giving everybody some time to get in here. I'm gonna share my screen really quick.
Hey, Cherish.
Nice to see everyone.
Hey,
Oh, hey, Angela. What's up? All right. Hey, Jenny. All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Once I can find it. There it is. Here it is. All right, guys. So you can all see my screen here. Welcome, everybody. This is the Ladies of Sound Community Chat. We meet every Tuesday at 6 p.m. And we're going to get into a couple of things today. We go ahead and go over our house rules. So for anybody that's new, if you can please keep yourself on mute when you are not speaking. And then send all questions into the chat room. Also feel free to chat with each other. Towards the end, we'll try to answer them all. And then we're going to have a Q&A portion towards the end of our chat. And you know what it is. This is something that we started during quarantine. It was a way for us to connect with everybody online since we unfortunately can't see each other in person right now. And also a place for meeting other people and sharing stories, knowledge, tips, and tricks.
Mm-hmm. We're already on our 7th session. How fast was that? That means we've been doing it for 7 weeks now. Crazy.
So you guys know, I am Maricel, the principal at the Beat Junkie Institute of Sound, founder of Ladies of Sound. And prior to being all of that, I was a photographer. Still take pictures here and there, but not like I did before. But and then you guys know Sammy G, our marketing admin at BJ iOS and co-founder of Ladies of Sound, and of course DJ Sammy G, as we all know her. And today we are going to be covering a lot. We're going to be going over prepping on Serato, recording your session, post-editing, and uploading online. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end my screen share, and then Sammy's going to be sharing hers. Thanks, guys.
Hey, guys. So I've actually been getting some questions. I know Bea has asked me before, and other people have asked me about putting out a mix. Because you always want that to showcase, say, when everything's over, and promoters want kind of an idea of how you DJ, what kind of music you like, what kind of music you tend to play, or even maybe say you always get booked for R&B, but no one knows that you're really into house and no one's ever booked you for that. This is a great way to make sure that you can also do a mix on your own time, post it up, and get people to check that out as well. So I'm sure, I know some of you have already put out a mix, but we're gonna go over how I do it. Just today, we're gonna be going over, we said, prepping on Serato, basically how to program a set. So just not even just for mixes, but also just in general. Actually recording on Serato, and then post-editing as well. So it's funny, I even asked Babs if this is something, that's normal, because I didn't have like a sense of if post-editing is something that people do. Turns out a lot of people do it. Because, when a mix is, say, if someone's asking you for like an hour-long mix, like sometimes there's gonna be some songs in there that you didn't get right the first time, right? So there's going to be times where you're going to be like, oh, I know I can nail this transition if I just did it one more time. But if you're like 30 minutes in, you're not going to start 30 minutes all over again just so you can fix that mix, right? Or that transition 30 minutes in. So there's going to be some post-editing. Just a quick background on me is I graduated at the Art Institute of California in Los Angeles in audio production. So I have experience in Pro Tools, Logic, Ableton now, especially because we are learning Ableton at the Beat Junkie Institute of Sound. And then also yeah, and engineering and things like that. So we're gonna dive into it. You guys are welcome to take any notes. It's going to be pretty heavy. The thing is we're actually gonna break this down into two parts after this. So right now is gonna be kind of an overview of everything. I might not explain every single little thing. If you guys have questions, you guys can ask in the chat. And then, uh, oh yeah, and also I graduated at the Beat Junkie Institute of Sound, as well as many of you in the chat also graduated. So I've taken intro to DJing. Well, really back then it was a little bit different because we had just first started the school, but I hopped into foundation, graduated that. I took structure, graduated that. And I was just about to finish Ableton, but then the temporary shutdown had to happen, but it's okay. By the way, we're going to email you guys soon on all the details about that. But yeah, so just a little background on that. So you guys are welcome to take some notes. We're gonna be doing this as a two-part process in the next couple of weeks as well. That's gonna be breaking every single little thing down. Right now it's just gonna be kind of an overview with Serato and all that editing. Okay, cool. So I'm going to show you guys my screen. All right. So I'm gonna do this. You guys will just see my desktop. So I'm gonna open up Serato first. Now, I know there are times where I'm just like, okay, I wanna make a mix. Most of the time I'm usually like, I know what kind of mix I want to do, right? I want to do a hip hop mix, or someone's asking me to do one for a particular event. So it's always a great idea to kind of just understand the kind of vibe and the mood and genre that you're going for, because that's also going to determine where you're going to start off. Where is your first BPM going to start off? And I'm sure you guys have all experienced that when trying to make a set or trying to prep for any other event or gig that you guys are doing. You're like, well, where do I even start? What BPM am I looking for? What kind of mood am I kind of going for? In this case, for the sake of the tutorial, I had made a mix recently actually that I submitted for a competition. It was a ladies only competition. It was open format, so I was able to do whatever kind of music I wanted to do. And I kind of actually, so there was this viral thing that Janae Aiko said on Instagram, and it said, I don't compete, I complete. And I took that sound bite, recorded it, and started it off with my mix. So I was purposely looking for a song where in the beginning kind of is like, you know, started off the mix, kind of something that would work out. Sorry, you guys are kind of showing, there you go. So I decided, so for the sake of this tutorial, so that we could save some time, I did find a song that I wanted to start off with. So let's find that. That's this one right here. So when we do go on that, in that process of when we break down that first step, which is the prepping on Serato, I don't know how you guys do it, but typically when I'm programming a set, I make about 2 to 3 crates. So what happens is I'll make a crate, I'll go on my all, and I'll start looking for songs that make sense with each other. And I tend to do this offline first, especially if I'm kind of in a rush. I'll do it offline, meaning I'm not connected to the mixer or anything like that. I'm just doing it from my bed or something. And then I just pick songs that I think might work for the idea that I have. So I'll just literally just make a crate, say this is my mix. I'm gonna make it my draft, right? So I'm literally just gonna start picking songs that I think might work with each other. So I'll play them, I'll kind of move them around. I'm like, okay, that one works out. This one's too slow. This one's too fast. This one is just not, doesn't make any sense with it. I'll literally just start pulling random songs. I'm not really paying too much attention on how I figure the transitions, how I'm gonna figure if it really makes sense in that order. I'm just gonna start pulling stuff in this crate, just so that I have now, which was this one. Now I just have a big crate of just songs that I think might work out for my mix. I'm not really sure, but they kind of have the same vibe. It's like a mini crate. Cool. So what I tend to do is I will start picking these songs and kind of going one by one on which one works best in whatever order. That's when I'll make another crate. And then I'll start dragging stuff in the order that I like them. So I'll try a song and then maybe I'll do this song with it. And I'm like, it's cool, but it's not really, it's like not the best. So I'll pick another song. And I'm like, I like this one way better. When I realize that this is kind of the order that I want, I will drag them in the order that I want. So now, instead of that first crate, kind of just going by the BPM and the key, because I have it set up for key and BPM here, I'm gonna have this one number. So now I'll have the number in terms of the order that I like them in. So that's kind of the process that I go into just programming a set. You know, a lot of the time, nightclubs, nightclubs and bars and things like that, or you're just going on live for fun. You know, you don't always have to do a program set. It's definitely good to read the room and kind of just freestyle it, go through your crates and DJ that way. In this case, say like I did selection in November back then, I knew for sure the crowd, and I knew that this was a set that they wouldn't judge me for no matter what I played. So I made sure that I created an actual program set. But I had a backup crate on top of that, just in case for whatever reason they were just really not feeling it, then I'd have a backup set. In this case, because it's a mix and all of you programming a whole set. So I will do this over and over and over again. On crate 2, that's when I actually put in my Serato mixer. Sorry, is there a way that we can noise? You guys hear that? Wait, what is that? What sound is that? You hear that?
I'm so sorry. If someone's not on mute, I can't find you. I can hear your car. Are you trying to turn? What it sounds like.
Is that what that is? What is that?
What it sounds like. I'm gonna try and find that right now. Sorry.
Oh, go on participants and you can find.
Yeah. I don't know what that is. Oh, Keith, if you can please mute yourself. I got it. There we go.
So at this point, I put my laptop onto my computer so that I can.
Sam, sorry, you are on mute. So you'd have to kind of backtrack a tiny bit.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So basically, when I start testing these different songs out and I put them into a new crate, this is after I put that kind of random mix of a crate. I'll start pulling these, trying to see which one works with each other. And this is when I'm actually set up on a computer. Or I mean on a equipment, so on a mixer. So I'm actually testing these out one by one, figuring out which order I like, and then putting them into this new crate. So then I have an order of what I like. So basically that's what I'll end up doing to program a set. We can definitely go into that more in depth. We're just covering a lot today. Yeah, we can go into that when we do that part 1. But pretty much, I have 2 songs here, so this is just for the sake of the tutorial. Obviously, you would be doing a full mix. You'll have a huge list of songs here. In this case, this was my dump. This is my dump crate. So this is where I dumped everything that I liked. And then this is the actual crate where I had it by the number. So this was the order that I liked. Okay. So in this case, let's do these two right here. So let's get into the actual recording part. So what's great about Serato's new update, offline, you can actually go record offline. Back then, you weren't able to record offline. This only showed up if you hooked on to the mixer. Luckily, now you can. So if you, for whatever reason, you ever wanted to try to do a mix on just your computer and not with any equipment, you can, which is cool. Because now that you also have all these little filters and things like that here. So that's going to be record right here. You guys see my mouse? Yeah, or you do not? You see it? Okay, cool. Because at one point I didn't see you guys. You guys didn't see my mouse. Okay, cool. So here we're gonna go over these real quick. So when you're hooked on, so right now I'm not hooked onto equipment, but right now it says mix and video mix. This is not gonna be a video mix. It's just gonna be a regular mix. If you are hooked up to say an S9 or a mixer with Serato in it, as in like internally it has Serato, the sound card in there, you can just click mix. If you are connected, and if anyone else knows, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe if you're connected to say a box, like a Serato box, it'll just show line 1, line 2, or channel 1, channel 2. And I've done it before where I clicked that and it just was signal. Like my entire mix did not record. It was just signal. So you have to make sure that it shows up as mix. Okay, because yeah, I think it's because the box, the interface pretty much disrupts the master out coming out from your mixer into your computer. So yeah, if anyone, and then get that tech being going. Oh yeah, I'll give it to you. Yeah, if you guys see anything on here, feel free to let me know. I can send it to you. Trade for a trade. You got to give me something. You got to give me some heat back. Yeah, feel free to ask any questions, guys, on the side if you have any. So I'll always make sure these are on mix. Record location, so that's going to be super, super important. Make sure that you know exactly where this recording is going to be set and saved, because as soon as you hit save right back here, it's going to automatically like put it there. You have no way of like really seeing it. It just automatically does it. So once you do record, you could see that my names are freaking crazy right here. There's no logic to them, but yeah, so this is where I save them. And then I also have, so I also have recording here. So you could see all my crazy. I made one for B the other day. There's a B. So it's gonna save also in my recorded right here. And Serato's just gonna do that automatically for you. Cool. This is your volume level for your master outs. So what I do is I will play at least, I don't know, 2 to 3 songs all over my crate, because, you know, certain songs are louder than the others. Some of them might not be received the same way. So do you guys hear this? You hear that? Okay, cool. So you're always gonna want, as most of you know, you never want it to clip. And that's anywhere that anything has to do with audio, music, whatever it is, you never want it to clip. And clipping basically just means when it's on red. So the rule of thumb is if it's too loud and it's distorted, you can never fix it. You can't reverse that. Okay, as low as you go, even if you put the volume really low, it's still gonna sound distorted and messed up. You can't fix that. But if it's low, you can always fix it to make it louder and it won't get messed up, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So you're better off going lower than you are hitting the red. But of course, I don't know if you guys have noticed, at least for me, every time that I make a mix on Serato, the sound is lower. I think that's just their way of compressing it. So the output ends up being a little bit lower than a regular song would be. But I would just play about 2 or 3 different songs, skip through the middle, and kind of just test for the meter here. So I'm gonna play these. So I'll put that down a little. Let's do another one. This.
I was left feeling like so much food in the fridge. She can know what she likes and what to do with it. Love me around, what's the use?
Cool. So you want to try to get it as close to the red as possible without actually hitting the red. So that's basically the rule of thumb. Just get it as close as possible. That'll be the way you get the best sound on there. Cool. This is obviously just going to be your timestamp. This is also a great way to just keep track of how long you've been going for. Here is where you're going to put your title for your mix. I'm going to do my community chat mix. So I definitely suggest writing down your title first before even starting your mix, because if you don't write anything here and you click save after your mix, it's gonna automatically be stored as just recording. Oh, see, I normally write it, but it's gonna say like recording 13 or something like that. And you might not even remember where you were at and be like, oh shoot, what number was that? So you always want to make sure that you put your title in here already. Cool. So say you are ready for your mix. You are ready to go. Your whole crate is ready here in the order that you want. And then also in that process of testing all these songs and putting it in that second or third crate, this is where you're going to start putting all your cue points. Make sure that everything is ready so that you can try to do this in one take in the best way you can, right? You're gonna try and do this one take only, and try to do the transitions as great as possible. Let's see, I'm gonna read these questions right here. Do you ever use Serato prepare tab? I actually don't use it for when I do something at home. I usually use the prepare when I'm mixing live. So let's just say I wanted to be nice and take someone's request or something, and it's like 10 BPMs up, and I'm not in the mood to like drop it. I kind of want to just ease into it, and someone requests me something, I'll put it in there so I don't forget. Or let's say I'm like, oh, if they liked this Krung Bin joint, they'd probably like this song. Let me put it there, and then I'll figure it out later, putting it into my mix. So I always use the prepare usually for live mixing. I really, really like this feature actually. So thanks for bringing that up. I don't know, do you guys use it? You guys tell me, do you guys use it for like when you make mixes? I only use that for live usually. Let's see, all right, cool. Yeah, you guys should use this prepare section. It's really, really tight. When it's live, or let's say I'm like just looking through songs, it's like, oh, that song would be tight. Let me put that there. And then I'll keep looking. I'm just like, that song would be tight, but just not right now, right? So then I would just put it in there and use it later. Or sometimes, let's say you're DJing for an artist or you're DJing for a rapper or something, and they told you they wanted this particular song right after their performance, you put it on there so that you don't have to worry about it later. It's always gonna be there. So, cool. So you're ready to mix, right? So we're pretending that I'm actually connected to my equipment back there, but we're gonna use just the features that we have here now. So I know this one on the right is a song that I'm gonna wanna use first, and or just the order that you're planning on doing, right? So I'm gonna do two different instances here. Pretty much an instance where, say you mess up the transition and you're like, damn, I really don't want to do 20 minutes all over again just because I messed up on this one transition, and I know I can nail it. Like, I swear I can nail it. Just this time it just didn't work out. So say we're gonna do that, right? So let's say you already got 20 minutes in. This is your 19th song or something like that. I'm gonna play that. Oh, obviously you're gonna hit record when you're playing your mix, right? So I'm gonna have that recording. So we're gonna be playing that right now. And And I'm like, oh no, that was bad. That was a bad transition. I didn't like it. So what I do in this case, while I'm recording, I'll purposely leave dead air, like dead space, so that I can keep, so now that when I do export this mix and I later on I put it onto Pro Tools or Ableton or GarageBand to edit it later, now I can see where the mistake was. It's an easy way to keep track of where the mistake happened, right? Now we have all this dead space, so when you see it on a timeline later on, it'll be easy to catch it. So I'm like, okay, I messed up. I'm gonna do that over again. I'm gonna leave this dead space to kind of give myself an indicator of where I'm at in the mix. Because if you're doing like an hour-long mix or whatever, it's gonna be hard to try and find those tiny little places, right? So naturally, I would pretty much start from the very beginning. And you're kind of gonna wanna start somewhere where you know later on, it'll be an easy stitch. Because if you start it right before the chorus, you're gonna minimize the amount of time that you have to stitch the song together. It'll make more sense when we go to GarageBand after this. But pretty much I like to go pretty far back so I have as much opportunities for me to cut and edit into, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna play this and we're gonna try that again. In this case, I would just literally keep going with my mix. That was a good transition. I liked it. I don't know about you guys, but I was satisfied with that one. So since I did it right, I'm just gonna keep going with the rest of my mix, right? I'm just gonna keep going with the rest of whatever I have on my crate. For the sake of this little tutorial, we're gonna save that here and see how it automatically went straight to my recording. Cool? So now you have it here and you know where it's at. Cool. See, B, you're just gonna start, you're just on this, she's just on this chat so she could look through my Serato. I purposely looked before this chat happened to just make sure I didn't have anything embarrassing on my, my Serato. I don't know about you guys, but when people post their Serato like screens on their Instagram and stuff, I'm like totally looking at their crates, what they call their crates and stuff. Even the guys, when we go through it at school, I'm just like, what crate does that mean? Like, what is that? Okay, so we have it here. If you guys can, for me, can you put either a 1 if you have like Pro Tools or Ableton or something that's not GarageBand on your computer, and a 2 if you think you only have GarageBand, just so I can get an idea of how many people. Okay, so mostly 2s. Okay, cool. So in this instance, we're just gonna go over GarageBand just because everyone pretty much has it if you have a MacBook. If you have Pro Tools or Ableton or something like that, it's all pretty much the same thing. GarageBand's done a really great job of mimicking these standard DAW systems. So we're just gonna do GarageBand for today. Okay, just wanted to get an idea of where everyone's at. So cool, mostly GarageBand. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna open GarageBand. So cool, you're done with your mix, let's just say, right? Everything's cool. Maybe you had to do that a few times in terms of messing up or doing your transition again. Let's say you did it like 4 or 5 times in the set. It's okay, we're gonna edit that now, okay? So this is gonna pop up And this is going to be the same for pretty much all these software systems. You can just create an empty project. So we're going to do that. And this is GarageBand here. We're going to click choose. All right. And input, no need to worry about that because you're literally not inputting anything. This session is not taking any sound from anywhere. Cool. And then we're also just going to make a basic audio track. So this is all the same for old GarageBand. I don't even know if this is new because I haven't updated my computer. You know, DJs never update their computer. Yeah, right. If it works, don't fix it. So I'm going to click create, and it's going to make one track right here. So tracks, yeah. And this is GarageBand, so don't even worry about any of this other crazy stuff. I would take out the metronome out, right? Because your mix is going to be different BPMs and stuff, so you don't need that. That's just going to confuse you. You also don't need, in Ableton and things like that, you could set your BPM. I don't really know where it's at. Oh, here. Don't pay attention to that. Don't need that either because your BPMs are all going to be different for this mix. So I'm going to go on Serato and I'm going to take this mix and pretty much I'm just going to drag it in. Or you can, so you can either do it that way, right? Or on here, I believe it's edit or I don't know GarageBand too well. There's always going to be an option to import. Oh, it's somewhere here. I can import it. Cool. It's always going to be a different option. Yeah, on here you'll be able to import. So now we have your song. Let's just say it has like 20 minutes behind it and 20 minutes after it, right? But this is the actual transition where you messed up and you tried it again. So here's that bad take. Let's listen to it. Actually, that you couldn't really hear that bad one just because the kick was so low. But you knew it was the bad one, right? I didn't like that one. So now that you imported your track, you see this is where you made the mistake. So, and this is where you did it the right way. So let's listen to this one. So that was your chorus, right? That's where you did your transition. I like that one. So I'm gonna either put a marker or I can just cut it to where I liked that part. So I'm gonna take the downbeat of that chorus that I did the transition on. So there it is. That's the first beat of the transition. Right? Oops, sorry. Let's find that again. There it is. So I'm gonna make a cut here on, yeah. So on GarageBand, it's Apple T to make a cut. Different programs are different shortcuts, so you're just gonna have to go on your file or help and to know your different cuts. But for GarageBand, it's Command T or Apple T, and that's where I know. So now I have an indicator of the good version that I liked. So the reason why I wanted us to go far back, that means I have all of this to use to cut into this, right? So you have the rest of your mix back here and you started playing this song and messed up right here. So we're gonna cut off the part that messes up. So in this case, let's try to go. Okay. So there's that beat again, the downbeat for the first chorus, right? It's here. So I'm not gonna pick that actual downbeat only because it's just so close to the transition. I don't wanna be that close just because it can get a little messy, especially because sometimes you do scratches and sometimes you scratch before the one, right? And you wanna get the scratch before the one. So sometimes I just don't wanna get that close. So I'm gonna pick probably like a bar or two before it. So let's listen. So let me see. I'm gonna hear that again. What do I want to do? Okay, I want to do the one before, so that's around here. So that's over here. Boom. So this is the 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. This is 4, 2, 3, 4. So I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna edit it and I will cut. And I will cut wherever I feel like the music actually, or that actual kick starts. So I'm gonna cut it there. And this is that bad transition I don't like. I don't wanna use it. And I'm gonna cut here too, just so we can cut it down. And I'm gonna delete this because that I don't need. I didn't need it in my life. It was a bad transition. I don't wanna remember that. So here we go with the session, the recording before the transition and the recording after the transition. So I'm also gonna find that 4, 2, 3, 4 right before the downbeat here. So now that I had it cut here, it was easy for me to find it. Yeah. So I'm gonna go here. So there it was. It's right here. And I'm gonna find that same thing. And since it's the same song, the sound waves should look exactly the same for the most part. So I remember cutting it kind of where it crossed right here. So I'm going to cut that. And I will cut all this extra stuff. Cool. So you don't necessarily have to do it all within the same track. You can also, if you want, if it's easier for you, you can add a track. And you can go down here. So now you can see when you go closer, you can kind of see it that way so that you don't, it's all your preference. There's no right or wrong way of doing it, but pretty much you'll be able to see where it's supposed to start. So if I did this correctly and I cut right on the downbeat of the fourth bar, this should line up perfectly, right? So just so you know, for Ableton, or no, for GarageBand, and I'm pretty positive it's the exact same thing for Ableton. See this cursor and how it's a circle? That means it's gonna loop. So it's only gonna loop from the very beginning of this sound clip. You don't want that. You want this right here. This is gonna drag for the rest of the song. So you see the rest of the song behind this right here, right? So this is where I made that cut, right? I'm gonna highlight this and I'm pretty much gonna try and line it up. Now, I could just drag this back a little bit so I have some reference as to what I'm lining up, right? So I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna go super, 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 super close. Let's see. Oops. Yeah, okay. Did I do this right? Let's see. Let me double check real quick. Okay, so it was actually supposed to be here. Cool, so we're gonna take that and we are going to match this as much as possible. So we're gonna go super close, super, super, super close, right? So see how those look exactly the same? That's because it's the same part of the song. So I'm literally just going to take this and drag it, and it's gonna line up pretty much exactly the same. You can even go closer. So this is a cool feature. I know these other programs do it also. So if you drag it on top, it'll be a little transparent and you can actually see. So that's pretty much really, really, really close. So I'm gonna drag it on top. And if we did this right, this should be seamless as if there was no cut there. So I'll play it. So this is that cut we made. So now this is the rest of the mix back here. This is the other part of the mix right over here. And now you just stitch together that the part that was working, that was like playing before you did the transition, and then now you just stitched it together with the transition that you actually liked. So now you just completely deleted the middle part. You don't have that anymore, and now you have a seamless transition, and no one will ever tell that you actually stitched them together because the wavelengths were just exactly the same on top of each other. So now you'll hear it, and so if you close your eyes, you don't see a cut, right? Cool. And so basically, I would pretty much do this for every single part that I might have messed up on. And I'll keep editing, and I will stitch together the songs. I'll just look for those dead spaces, and that's where I can see them. That's where I can cut them. And then eventually, you have one whole mix. So let's save this for now. My chats mix. So that is pretty much how you can post edit. So let me just actually show you guys how that looks. Let's see. Where did I find my Ableton? There we go. Okay, let's open it here. So I just want to show you guys one that I did recently and see if it pops up. Okay, cool. So this is a mix that I did for that competition, and you can see that I had edited some stuff here. Same songs, but I pretty much did the exact same concept I just showed you guys. Some edits, things like that, if you want to do that. So what's great about post-production is that you can also add anything that you want to add. So let's say there's some drops that you wanted to do, but you didn't get to do it at the moment when you were recording, or maybe you had an idea later, or you did your drop after the fact. So you can literally just take that sound bite, put it in here, and then place it where you need to place it. So in this case, I took that Janae Aiko track or little audio clip, and then I just added it after. So this wasn't recorded at the time.
You already said you're really running that. I said, I'm not competing for nothing.
So we can add that after. So that's what's cool about automation, or I mean with production, post-production. Automation is pretty much when you tell the computer, like the system, to do something on its own. I'll get into that in part 2 when we dive deeper into all of this. But pretty much just so you guys see, some songs kind of were a little bit too loud, some were a little too soft, or whatnot. So I went in here and edited the volume. Yeah. So when all of the said and done, this is all going to be the same on GarageBand. So we can let's open GarageBand so we can see. My computer can take all these programs at once. Cool. So you could just highlight your whole mix, highlight it. And then on GarageBand, this is interesting, just so you guys know. To export, you go on Share and then Export Song to Disk. And then that's where you can save all of your information here for the file. And I can definitely dive deeper into all of this on part 2 of this lesson. But pretty much I do Wave and I do it at usually 16. It really depends on how much storage also that you have. And just so you guys know, SoundCloud does not let you do MP3s. So I wouldn't even put in MP3 unless you wanted to for fun. Ableton lets you do Wave and MP3. It'll export both. But just so you guys know, SoundCloud doesn't allow for MP3s. Cool. So you're gonna export, you're gonna save it. right? You'll know where it's at, and then you are ready to put online. So we're gonna make, I know we're running out of time, so basically you would highlight everything, export it, and then you would be good to go in putting it on there. So let's just do this really quick, just so you guys can see it. We like Mixcloud because Mixcloud, you can actually, I'll show you. So let's say we'll choose a file. We're gonna take that one. And you just start putting all your information here, your metadata, and all of that. Let's see if it shows up. Cool. Pick an image, pick your description, your tags. What's cool about, let's see, I saw it yesterday. Let's see if we can show you. So what's cool about Mixcloud is you can actually put like, say, you can actually put the artist on here, and you can actually put the track name, and you can actually have your track list on Mixcloud, which is really cool. SoundCloud doesn't have that. That's why I think Mixcloud is better off when you're trying to do a mix and not get flagged for it. SoundCloud, if you put your track list on your description, you're gonna get flagged. It just finds it easier because you put the description, you put the song on the description. So in SoundCloud, I don't put the description, I don't put the track list. Mixcloud, you can. So it's really up to you. Jennifer downloads your track list. Oh, on Mixcloud or on SoundCloud? Jennifer or Jenny Spice said, I think it downloads your track list automatic. Oh, Mixcloud. Okay, cool. So yeah, you could do that, and then you would click publish. So that's pretty much it. I know we went through this pretty quickly. I hope you guys are able to take some notes. But we're definitely, like I said, we're gonna go deeper into different, the actual steps. I wrote an outline yesterday, outlining every single step, and I was like, oh, this is a lot. So we're gonna make sure that we get you guys kind of a dedicated time for those two different steps, or, you know, prepping on Serato, recording and editing as well. So that's pretty much it. I hope that made sense to you. I know it was pretty quick. But yeah, so I'm gonna stop sharing my screen here. And do you guys, okay, have any questions? Let's see what DJ Cherish said here. Sure, you have a great night, DJ. Oh, cool. Yeah, Cherish, thank you. So you guys can read all of that. Pretty much, maybe we can have Cherish as a guest too. Back up again. I don't know if you guys ever saw Cherish do her set or her special guest with us, but she definitely had a lot of really great insights. So let's see. You guys have any? Hey, what's up, Marky?
I saw that there was a question earlier.
Mhm.
Let me go ahead and scroll up, and I believe, sorry, I'm so blind. Okay, so earlier, Cheyenne asked, and it was when you were sharing your Serato, do you ever use Serato's Prepare tab?
Oh yeah, I answered that one.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so remember just, oh wait, you guys can't see my screen. Prepare is just a great way. I mean, it's up to you guys how you guys like to use it, but I tend to use it for live mixing just so I can have stuff on the fly and ready to go when I need it. So yeah, is there any other questions? I like that we got some of our homeboys up in here. Welcome.
Of sound.
Let's see if we have any.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen just so we can conclude. Can you guys see that? So yeah, we do have the Q&A portion. If you guys have any questions, please go ahead and type that into the chat. If not, we will go ahead and continue wrapping things up. And again, Sam said, you know, we are going to have another portion of this because this is something heavy. I saw her notes and I was like, oh, wait, no. I was like, that's going to take like a couple of hours, if that. So we'd much rather break it up and then go more in depth in another session, just so, you know, you guys can get the most out of, you know, all of these tips and just the preparation of everything.
refresh it
So,
too.
yes, was there any, did there any, I don't know, or my question tab disappeared too, but Sam, do you see anything there, or are we good to get?
Yeah. No, I think everyone gets it.
Cool. All right.
I'd
So,
like to think that it was good at explaining.
thank you guys again. You guys already know if you have any other questions or anything that you have after this, you want to hit up Sam. Please feel free to send an email over at info@ladiesofsound.com, or you guys see here our Instagram handles, so you can DM Sam directly if you just want to touch base on anything. But again, we are going to have a part 2, and we'll make some announcements pretty soon on those dates. And when I mean soon, probably in a couple of days. Um, so yeah, you guys have all that information there.
And
Go ahead.
this is Mark. Yeah, I'm asked if it's going to be archived. So just so you guys know, all of our community chat sessions are always archived. We record all of them from beginning to end, and you guys will have access to it on our YouTube. But it's also on our website to make it easier, or our what is it, campsite. So
Yeah.
it's all on our bio on Instagram. You guys can click that. Just click community chats, and you will see a recap of everything from these past community chats, everything from the actual presentation, because there's stuff like say with Cherish, or when we had our other girl talking about going full time as a DJ. We literally have presentations that you guys can download. So all of that is on there. And if you're on our newsletter, you guys will also get the whole recap in your inbox.
Yes. So that brings us to our next tab. Thank you, Sam, for that. So if you guys don't already know, we are on Spotify, and we put out some playlists for everyone. So, if you ever need some music to just, chill out to, clean to, cook to, whatever have you, we have plenty of that. So on Spotify, you just type in Ladies of Sound and you can find us. We have 2 playlists that we just finished. So we've, last week we mentioned we do have Super Bloom. So Super Bloom's a collaboration that we did with a couple of friends of mine that are creating. So my friend's a florist, and another one owns a plant store. And then there's some of their friends that one makes CBD butter, and then another one makes cookies. So they actually have a package if you purchase that, and you can go ahead and send that out to your mom. And then it comes with a download link to Super Bloom. So if you guys are looking into that, we will have that information in our IG stories. So you guys can, if you're looking for some Mother's Day gift ideas, that's next Sunday on May 10th. The really, really cute gift set. So check that out. We have another one called Living Room Two-Step that we just put together. So again, you can just do some two-step in your living room. So please check that on our quarantine list. And yeah, so next, you guys already know, heads up, this is our last week that we are doing homeroom for free. We've been doing homeroom now since literally within the first week of quarantine. The whole team went online and started providing these free classes. So we hope you guys have been enjoying them. Right now they are they're streaming everywhere else, but the chat room and where it's at is on beatjunkies.tv, and that is where it is going to live after next week. And we're going to be making announcements and things like that on Saturday. The guys are going to do another podcast and making more announcements and all that good stuff. So again, homeroom's actually going to be coming up soon, 8 p.m. with I don't know what day it is. Yeah, 8 p.m. with Chalk. And, you guys, I didn't add it before to that, but now you can see the levels. So you can see the beginner level, intermediate, advanced, so please take a look at that. Take advantage this week. And then also, you guys know we launched Watch the Sound Live on the Beat Junkies Twitch. And the guys are also doing all of that. I like personally watching those. Again, I always say that's where you get your music knowledge, watching other people DJ. And these guys are just a crazy collection of music from vinyl to, everything digital and stuff in the record pool that you may not even know is there. So it's a good, you don't have to literally watch, but, something I'll just throw on the speakers and, just get my music knowledge on. So this is the schedule there. You guys can find that also on the internet. And now on to our next section. So you guys know we launched on the Spirit of Sisterhood, to support small business and our friends because, with again with COVID happening, we understand that especially in the music community, it's been hard, and it's not like we're all gigging or anything like that anymore. So we thought that why not support people that are pivoting or just need that kind of support, or just someone we'd like to highlight. We are going to be creating something on our site where you guys, if you know somebody that can or wants to be featured, or you want to nominate someone, you guys can turn that in on the Ladies of Sound bio on our Instagram. So and I want to also thank her today for joining us, and she's still in there, I can't see, but Angela. So let me go to the next slide. So, and talk about supporting your sisters and small business. We have Spinnerita. So if you guys haven't followed her, there's her Instagram handle there. Her name is Angela, but you guys can, she's selling these really dope candles, and they're available for pre-order in limited quantities. If you guys haven't, that'll take me to our next slide there. But Spinnerita Angela, she's a really dope DJ. That's her music knowledge, guys. I mean, a vinyl collection. Y'all need to go, check out her mixes that she does live. And so. Angela, are you on here? Where are you? Can we say hello to you?
Oh, I can unmute you. Oh, there it is.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Yes, everybody meet Spinnerita. I actually met her through Nina. So Nina, you guys already know Nina, and if you don't, she's one of the students at the school, but she's telling me about Angela. She's like, you need to meet her. But, so I wanted to introduce her. We wanted to introduce her to you guys if you guys don't already know her. But Angela, yeah, say hello. Tell us about these candles.
Oh my gosh, thank you guys so much for this. I really appreciate it. This candle came out of an inspiration from a thing I do on Sundays called Sunday School. When COVID-19 hit, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just going to take a big break and not do anything. And then I got super sad, like not being able to DJ for anybody. So I just decided to go on a Sunday, like randomly. And then I came up with the name Sunday School and just kept it going for the past, I don't know, maybe like 7 weeks or something like that. So I found a really dope designer through a friend, and it was kind of based on like Sunday and, not too much into like, spirituality, but a little bit on that topic. So she came up with this design kind of with like washing your hands and the whole, yeah, so it's the soapy prayer hands. And it's got a lot of love. Like people love it. I think it's a cool time capsule for, this crazy time, you could look back and be like, oh my God, that was when everything was going down. And it's just kind of a nice way to keep finances coming in, especially right now I got laid off from my 9-to-5 job in November. So I was pretty much going to use 2020 as a launch pad of just being a DJ full time. So then that, everything that happened kind of took away a lot of opportunities. So I just thought, why don't I try and think of ways to generate revenue? So yeah, so that's kind of where the candles came in, and we're making t-shirts and yeah, so just trying to be.
Where can we find that, Angela, to pre-order?
You can actually just DM me for now. I'm working on putting everything up on my website, but at Spinnerita, you can hit me up and put in an order. We're already sold out of the 3rd batch. So they're hand painted by a designer here locally in LA. And, I really appreciate it. I'm super honored to be on this session with you guys. Thank you very much.
Of course. I actually that's so cool. Is I now that I'm like staring at the actual candle, I'm like, oh, soapy suds. I think it's
Hmm.
really cool because, you know, when you purchase something like this, you have a memory attached to it, and that memory is all of us through all of this together. So not only are you supporting somebody in the community, you now have this trinket to treasure forever for this time in our life, and you know, a nod to that, whether it's a T-shirt or a candle. So that's really dope. Thanks, Angela. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the next slide. So I also want to ask you about this little sample delivery. That's also something you have on SoundCloud that we wanted to feature you here in our Mix It Up section.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. I was supposed to, I was going to be on tour in Europe starting at the end of April in Paris. My first date was in Paris with the crew called Sample Delivery, and we were going to do a live mix on Hotel Radio Paris, but obviously I didn't go. So they asked me to do a mix and just like send it in, and I was like, hell yeah. So
Oh,
I made sure it was full of like West Coast vibes, just to like bring my sound out there and let them hear what we kind of bump and listen to. So it has a bunch of music from a lot of LA natives and some East Coast stuff, some UK stuff, but this kind of has that vibey, like breezy summer feel to it. So I'm super loving this mix, and I've gotten a lot of love from it. So Hotel Radio Paris has a lot of great artists on there that put their shows up pretty much every day. I have another mix coming out for them next week. So yeah, if you guys want something to listen to that's summer, you know, getting ready for summer, whatever that's gonna look like, then throw this on and, you know, vibe out. It's like really chill G-funk kind of stuff.
oh, yeah. Thanks, Angela. So I guess we're going to have to get you on one of our community chats in the very, very near future. We'd love to hear your story. I know that you know, you told me that you did transition from your 9 to 5. You want to do this DJ thing full time. So we definitely need to talk about that more because I know you went to Europe recently too. And I've been wanting to ask you about that trip. So we'll have Angela back, guys. But in the meantime, please support her. Listen to her mix. Grab a candle and a shirt, or whatever have you. But thank you so much, Angela, and we appreciate
Thank you. Thank you, Sammy, for all the tips. I learned like so much. I was eating earlier, so I didn't want to like be on camera.
I'm glad it.
Thank you, Sammy. That was amazing.
Yeah.
you. And
Yeah.
if you guys didn't know, do you see Sammy over here? So thank you, Angela. I don't know if you guys listen to this little Sammy's SoundCloud on the mix plug. Sam, talk about it.
Yeah, so it was just a little competition thing that they were doing, and I was like, why not? Let me just do a mix. I always have the mentality of, you know what, either way, this is going to be beneficial to me whether I win or not. That was the mentality we had when we won our grant too. We were just like, you know what, either way, it's going to force us to do things that we wouldn't have done otherwise. So I have that up. It's at the Mix Plug on SoundCloud. And then our girl Bite Size actually won, so you guys should definitely check hers out too as well. She's a friend of ours, and
She's up in San Francisco, so you know, maybe we'll also have her here. But yeah, so check that out. Congratulations, Sam, on being a runner up. It's okay, repping. And then you guys already know, and Alina loves this part, right? So we only have a few left of these guys. So if you guys want to grab them, and then we're you know, this colorway is
out this week.
yeah, we're shipping them out. So thank you to everyone who has ordered them. This a particular colorway is special because we put it out during Women's Month. So you know, that's hence why the colors are that purple and yellow. But yeah, so we only have a few sizes left, and again, we did ship the rest of them out. But you know, thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate all of you for being here. You know, every week, or you know, just giving your time. Again, we appreciate just all of the support, from homeroom to watch the sounds. This is everything. It's really keeping us going during this time. But we do have some announcements that we're going to be making this Saturday on the Building Better DJs podcast with the Junkies. And that has to pertain with everything from everything online on top of what's going to happen in the future with BJ iOS. So yeah, and then if you guys can just keep a lookout for your inboxes for those who are waiting to come back to class. We do have some things we're going to be sending out like within the next few days or so. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone.
You guys. So let me know if you have any questions or anything. You can just hit us up.
Yeah, and then Sam's actually gonna have, like I said, I saw that list of what she had for today. I was like, oh, this is the like another part. But then that part is what you guys are gonna be able to take away during that next talk. So it's very detailed, and aside you guys taking your own notes, we're gonna have a nice PDF for you guys to take a look at during that next chat, and then we'll put that out pretty soon. So if you guys can RSVP. But again, thank you guys for always supporting Ladies of Sound, Beat Junkies.
Supporting us.
You guys are the best. We miss you all. I'll see you guys in homeroom if you guys want to practice.
So there's a new donate page on our website. Wow.
Yeah, and if you guys are feeling generous, yes, sound.com, and it goes again towards programming. We're doing this out of the kindness of our heart, but every little bit helps, or just buy a t-shirt, whatever have you, support your sisters. But thank you guys again. And if you guys have any topics that you guys have, any suggestions about, again, you can email us, or if there's somebody that you're like, no, I'd love to talk to so-and-so and do a Q&A with them. We are an open book. That will help me and Sam out because our brains are always racked every single day. But, if you guys have any questions for, suggestions for topics, or just like to hear more about anything, we're, again, feel free. No, you guys know we're open. So, but yeah, thank you again. And thank you for all the guys that actually attended this. What's up, Mark? What's up, Jose? Sammy? Yeah, thank you.
What's up, Sammy? What's up, Keith?
What's up, Keith?
Wow, it's the most men we've had.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you guys so much. And, we'll do what we want to do too. I know that quarantine is slowly getting lifted in LA County. But, before we all go back to some sort of our new normal, we want to do another Ladies of Sound community chat. But, again, we'll have that free flowing one where everybody's off mute and we're having more of a conversation and catching up with each other before all of that, again, the new norm kicks into place. But we appreciate you guys so much.
Mark,
See you online.
guys, bye.
Bye.